And once again, sorry about that, folks. I'm not quite sure how we managed to not go live, but also crash everything at the same time. We'll go ahead and try and get that figured out at the start. Right now, though, I'm going to try and get everything relaunched and reopened for us so that we can at least have the racing from here on out. Apologies again, I'm not quite sure what happened with OBS and iRacing there. We're under caution though for the first time tonight. We're at lap, I believe it should be around 15:20. We'll get this pulled up in just a second so I can actually get a look at this here. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and then we'll...
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, welcome back, folks, to the Sunday night Showdown series. Again, I want to apologize there for missing the first 10-ish laps there. Not quite sure what happened with OBS. We did have an iRacing crash anyway, so it wouldn't have really shown much after the first at least 5, maybe 6 laps. This is why we have first races of the season to finish or to figure things out. But back to the action. We're going to get green flag racing back under the way. Justin Levine, Justin Day up in this front row. Green flag back in the air. Justin Levine with a great start on that inside lane. A lot of help from Reese Schaefer there behind him. Justin Day, not as much help there on that high side. Now finally getting hooked together on that high side. See if they can make something happen down this back stretch. Still side by side here, going to turns 3 and 4. Justin Levine with the momentum. Justin, they had a minute there where he had it really great momentum and got even with Justin Levine, just not enough through 3 and 4. So now Justin Levine going to go back to the front, and he'll be able to lead this lap by quite a bit. That high side has kind of fallen apart. Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer, and the 2 truck have pulled away from the field, but now the 2 of Landon, I'm going to probably say her name wrong, Burgage, taking that high side from Justin Day, and he's going to try and make something happen here. See a lot of drivers be pushing aggressive towards the end. Haven't quite seen it so far in these first 15 laps. But I'm sure once we get down to the end, we'll see a lot more pushing. These trucks are very hard to handle when getting pushed. And one bad push can lead to a whole carnage of things. But for the time being, everyone has kind of been respectful of their pushes and their blocks. This high side has gained some momentum these past few laps, and that 2 truck leading the way has proven that he is here to win this race. A great push by Justin Day going down this backstretch. See if maybe they can get clear of this inside lane. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And the talk of the offseason was, what is Justin Levine going to bring to this series? We saw him last season have a few good runs. Wasn't there for the full season and joined us towards the end of the season. And right now coming out on top. See if maybe he will make some noise early in this season and be a championship favorite. That 37 of Aaron Kay right behind that 17 and 33 also is going to be a driver to watch tonight. He was getting better and better last season. Now it was a different car, but he will be one to watch as we have a 3rd lane growing on this high side. That's the 3 truck of Joseph Kazi and the 73 working together to try and make that 3rd lane come to work. That 48's going to step out in front and will say, I want to lead the way. And now we are 3 by 3 by 3 for at least 3, maybe even 4 rows coming out of turn number 2. With 3 wide for the race lead, these drivers still, though, racing with a ton of respect. That 48 truck with a lot of momentum on that high side. Looks like he's going to be clear of the middle lane potentially for a second. Little wiggle out of that middle lane. Still able to hold strong, though. At the line, it's going to be the 33 truck leading that lap. And now this high side is looking to maybe get a little bit more help, try and clear that middle and or bottom lane as well. I think you're going to need at least another truck, and as I say that, it looks like 2 more trucks are going to go back up on that high side. That 87 though not close enough to that 73's bumper, so I'm not quite sure how much help that's going to be for right now. However, those 3 trucks on the top side are doing the work that they need to do to be able to maintain even with the other 2 lanes. And we will get a stage at lap 50. Those are going to reward points just like in the real life NASCAR racing. So these drivers, although are about 30 laps away from that, they are still going at it and want every position that they can for the time being. That 33 truck able to get a decent push from that 17. That's Justin Levine. Had the 2 lanes clear for the time being, but you don't want to be too aggressive right now. You also don't want to get too far out in front, because if you do get out in front by quite a bit, you will get absolutely freight trained by everyone around you. And that's when you start to see aggressive blocks, and which then leads to usually carnage and wrecks, and not what these drivers would want this early in the race. They do have one fast pair, and as I say that, Justin Levine, a big slide right there to get into that middle lane right in front of that 2 truck. And wow, was that close. That was probably by an inch or so, and now he's going to go back to that bottom lane. You see what that does to the lanes though. That middle lane now not organized like it was a few laps ago. That 48 trying to still lead that way on that high side, trying to side draft that 2 truck. And I think that might have been a scary moment for some of those drivers. Just a little bobble from having to check up for that 33's block may have some of these drivers to be a little bit more cautious. And this early in this race, slow truck ahead. These drivers are going to have to work around that. That's the 8 truck of Landon Matherson. He's going to move down to the apron and get out the way. Good job by that 8 truck for not being too much of a hinder to these leaders. Now we're back down to 2 lanes, and it looks like that 3rd lane has kind of decided to take a break for the moment. The 48 now dropped back to around that 10th, 11th position, currently sitting, to be exact, about 12th. Remember, he was just up there a few laps ago, leading that high side. Goes to show you how much momentum is a factor at a track like Daytona, where you are just about wide open the whole way around. And you see about these first 15-ish trucks, 2, maybe sort of 3 wide, and then the rest of the field taking their time, just relaxing for the time being, knowing what's on the line, knowing how long of a race this actually is, not wanting to hurt their races or their fast repair. Again, we have one fast repair, and they don't want to use it too early on and hurt the chances of maybe getting into an incident later, not having that fast repair to rely on. And now we got a truck stepping out. That's Joseph Causey in the 3 truck. Looking to get that third line going again. And now the 48's going to step back out as well and go back to leading this third lane. See if him and Joseph Causey can make it work this time. That's the 73 machine of Colby Jackson in the Wrangler blue and yellow truck. Now they're peeking back to the inside, or at least the middle lane, leaving the 48 truck out to dry. Not sure if that was intended or not. Oh, and around is... I think they may have saved it. Scary moment right there for the 48 machine of Jordan Hands. You can see that truck is bent up quite a bit on the right side. He hit the wall pretty good. Let's go back and see if we can see what exactly happened with that. Oh, and actually back up front, the 2 cars gonna go around. So is the 17. And we got a wreck behind these guys. Multiple trucks involved. The 19 around. The 5 truck as well of Eric Garrison. And as we were going to go back and look at an incident, another incident happened up towards the front. I think Jacob Sala may have gotten through there pretty undamaged. But let's go ahead and take a look at this most recent incident before we take a look at the other incident. Alright, so it happened up towards the front. It might have had to do with a bad push from the 19. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it looks like a bad push from the 19 sent the 2 into the wall, which then collected a numerous amount of trucks behind them. I think the 2 got the most damage out of that, as well as the 87 machine. See the 5 just barely get clipped right at the end there of Eric Garrison. Let's take another look right there. So it started with the 2 truck and the 19 of Dylan Jake Carrier. Just the bad push sent landed around, collecting numerous other drivers as well. The 5 again getting collected right there at the last second. He may have significant damage. It looked like that could have potentially damaged the rear end housing a bit. Now back live. Drivers making their pit stops here. So just like that, in a split of an eye, like we were talking about earlier, a bad push can lead to very big wrecks. And you saw it there. I think a lot of those trucks got away pretty lucky. I only saw 2 trucks with significant damage that may require a fast repair, but a lot of those trucks with very minimum damage. And unfortunately, iRacing just crashed again. I'm not quite sure what's going on here with iRacing right now. Go ahead and try and get this figured out quick before we go back green. Alright, well, while we wait for iRacing to do its thing to disconnect me, we'll try and get this up and launched real quick, hopefully. Well, we loaded back in time to get the green flag once again, so let's go ahead. Green flag back in the air. Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer leading the way on that inside lane. This bottom lane with a great restart. Justin Levine again able to get up front with the help of Reese Schaefer. The 73 of, I believe that's Colby Jackson up there. Yes, it is. Trying to make that second lane work. Stepped out of line. Restarted on that inside lane behind the top 2. Now he's going to go to work and try and make something happen here. And again, I apologize for that. I'm not quite sure why I'm having issues like I am tonight. I did a little bit of a stress test the other night and everything worked quite fine, so I'm not sure if... I know I did have to update something today, but I'm not quite sure if that would be part of it. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully we are all good until the end, though. The second lane coming in. They got off to a slower restart there. Didn't have the numbers put together. And now Colby Jackson leading the way with help from the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker behind him. I believe that's Jordan Berry on that high side. That lone truck trying to make a third lane again. Holding strong for the time being, just not getting any help from behind. He's going to lose a few more positions and doesn't really look like he'll have a slot to slide into until at least 3 more trucks pass him on this outside or this middle lane. Back up front though, Bryce Shoemaker giving Colby Jackson some great pushes. They're going to get the greater, a little bit of a bobble right there from that 54 machine. Looks like he may have gotten a push from the truck behind him. And that might have been a bad, just overall push right there. Now we got a third lane. We got a few trucks trying to step out. Maybe not. There was a slide back into this middle lane, trying to make the right move at the right time. Three wide, a little further back for these drivers. Little bit of shuffling there going on in that around 10th to 12th position. Bryce Shoemaker with a big slide up in front. He's going to put the block on the 2 machine. And he's going to want to try and do his best because here comes the rest of the field. Justin Levine to the middle lane, trying the race lead. And Bryce Shoemaker with a great push on that outside lane. He's going to get cleared for the race lead. Heading into 1 and 2 and throw a big block and limited contact behind. Trucks in the wall. Keeping it straight for the time being though. I believe that was Jordan Berry who got into the wall just a bit with Aaron Kay. And while that happened, the 33 able to get back around that 54 machine. And now Colby Jackson is going to lead that middle lane and try and lead this lap. Around is going to go the 73 in front of the field. Numerous trucks involved, the 73 up and over. Multiple trucks with hard hits. And I was just going to say, it looked like the 73 slid up maybe just a bit and left a door open for the guys behind him. And I think that's kind of what happened. Let's go ahead and take a look, though. So the 73... it looks like he may have got, I'm not quite sure if he, let's go back a little bit and let's see what happened. Right, going into turns 1 and 2, may have just been a misaligned bumper. The 73 slides up just a bit in the 15. I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but he got inside of the 73 and just contact sent these guys around. The 73 with a vicious hit right there, up and over. Landed back on its wheels, thankfully. But numerous trucks, the 54 Bryce Shoemaker, the 15 of Brock Piper as well with a hard hit. There's a 37 of Aaron Kay, I believe, as well right there. Let's go ahead and take a look from the 50, or from, let's go ahead and take a look at this one more time. And again, that's things that these drivers are going to have to be careful with. Looks like the 37 either took his fast repair or just was able to get anything that he could fixed on pit road as we're under caution here. 17 of Reese Schaefer is going to be the leader for the time being. And now we'll be coming to about 10 laps to go. Just under, it should be with the caution laps, we should be about 9 laps to go before the stage at lap 50. And you wonder if drivers here are pitting to not pit at the stage of lap 50. Maybe try and play some strategy into things. Our fuel window is about anywhere between 25 to about 35 laps. Kind of depends on where you're at in the field, how much you are saving. That's kind of one of the big things here is how much you're using your throttle pedal to keep up in the pack. Some drivers are really good at saving fuel at super speedways and using little throttle to try and save more gas. Other drivers possibly not as good at doing that, may burn a little bit more fuel and have to pit earlier or may have to adjust their fuel strategy for that reason. And now you're the field, you see the 17 truck out in front. If you're a newcomer and you don't quite know what Reese Schaefer is capable of, then you'll probably want to watch out, because that 17 truck of Reese Schaefer has dominated this league so far, won all the championships, and has yet to be defeated in any season by any driver. And I know he's got a lot that he's going to have to carry throughout tonight's race, especially at Daytona. It's a very wild race, and you never really know what's going to happen up until the checkered flag at the finish line. And Pace Truck looking to take the hard left turn here off of the track. That'll leave Reese Schaefer and Justin Day to take the green flag. And we're off and away, back under racing here at Daytona. that bottom lane with the advantage early on. Able to carry a lot of momentum and speed into turns 1 and 2 down this back straightaway. And here comes the one now checking out of line. That's Derek Garrison. Reese Schaefer's going to lead at the line there. And Derek Garrison puts the block on Justin Levine on that high side. Now maybe going back down to the middle lane with help from his teammate, I believe his teammate of Justin Day. Or at least former teammates, if not current teammates. Those two have experience together, have worked really well in the past. And we're going to be 3 wide heading into turns number 3 and 4. Those 3 drivers, Reese Schaefer, Derek Garrison, Justin Levine, probably the top drivers that you'll be facing this season. And you see why they are. They are up at that front, controlling each of their lanes, looking to outdo one another. And I just realized I don't know why the ticker is out of position right now. We'll try and get that figured out here. But for the meantime, Justin Levine controlling that bottom in that middle lane, shot from the top to the middle to the bottom, leading that lap right there at the line. That inside lane with the momentum, able to carry further out than that middle lane and that high side. That high side now has fallen back. Colby Jackson there trying to make it happen, lead the way once again. And we've got a caution out on track. I'm not quite sure where it's at. It looks like it may have. It's saying Joseph Kazi may have been involved in this. I'm not quite sure if that's an accurate read on the charts. Oh, right there, I see what happened. All right, so it does look like Joseph Kazi was somewhat involved right there. A little late. I'm not quite sure if the might have been some net code. It looks like I was thinking he might have tried to block. Well, that wouldn't have made sense, but it does look like just net code just sent that 74 machine around and into that outside wall. That's John Barry right there. So some pretty significant damage to the 74. Thankfully, he was able to keep going and carry some decent speed. It does look like he does have some sort of right side damage. I'm not quite sure if this truck actually has anything major under the hood. Alright, as these drivers pace around here, I'm going to try and figure out what's going on with the ticker and the ATVO real quick. Or maybe it's... I'm not quite sure why it's bugging out so much tonight. Well, I'm going to try and take a look at this real quick though while we're under caution. Alrighty, I think I got everything figured out here, so we are just in time to get back to green flag racing. Pace truck's going to take the hard left turn, and these drivers will get back on their green flag conditions. A little bit of checkup on that inside lane, see if maybe that causes any issues. Definitely did cause an issue with that inside lane, checking up quite a bit. A lot of these guys not formed up. Justin Day, one of those drivers that did not get a good start there. And as soon as I say we got everything fixed, it looks like we have one thing fixed and one thing not fixed. Oh, and around, they're actually going to save it up at the front. Great save there by the field. The 19 as well. Actually, we're going to have, for that, I believe race control thought that would be a caution. It does not look like there was actually any incident with that. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened right there, folks. All right, well, it looks like everything is back under, for the time being, hopefully fixed. Again, sorry about all the issues. Usually, I'd say this is unusual, but I feel like with everything new that I tried to do and bring forward to the broadcast, something just always happens to go wrong, and it's proving that once again, as we've had numerous issues so far. However, I'm gonna say things are gonna be looking positive from here. We just crossed halfway, and hopefully that can be a reset point for the broadcast itself. I don't want to jinx it though, because I have done that in the past with at least calling races. You kind of tend to jinx things when you're in the broadcast booth. Alright, Pace Truck looking to pull down pit road once again. And we'll get this thing under green flag again. Reese Hamilton, Jason Miz leading this front row. Green flag in the air. And we're crashing in. We're 3 wide for the front 2 rows. That's Jordan Berry on that high side trying to make it happen. The 33 of Justin Levine leading that middle lane. Then you got the 4 truck of Reese Hamilton there on that inside lane, leading that way with help from the 9 car of Jason Miz. The 15 truck of Brock Piper helping Justin Levine in that middle lane. He's been giving great pushes so far. Oh, and a little bit of a wiggle there from that 99 machine of Rob Hamp. I believe it was Rob Hamp that got loose. Did a great job at saving that truck and being able to keep the show going. But that really checked up a lot of those lanes. And you see now that that high side has kind of merged into that second lane. Jordan Berry, the last one to slot in from that high side in that bright yellow and orange 10 machine. And we're crashing it. That's so nice. All right, well, I guess, you know what? We're going to go to a commercial break real quick, and I'm going to try and...
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
Daytona 500.
Start your engines!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Test. All right. Well, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really know what to say except we are back. Green flag racing, hopefully, without any issues. This is kind of disappointing through. I really don't know what to say except this really doesn't make any sense to me as to how Melon cameras, how the default iRacing cameras are corrupted, but I guess they are. We'll try and load back here in just a second. For the meantime, though, the race is on at the front. You got lanes moving. Oh, and a little bit of contact right there from the 25 or to the 99 to the 25, I believe that was. Great save by the 25. Able to come back up, not collect anybody in the meantime. That was a very dangerous spot to get at least crossed over a bit there. That was right in the tri-oval, one of the hardest parts of this track that you don't want to make contact with. Those drivers did a great job at saving on and holding on to their vehicles. I'm going to try and load iRacing back up here on the other monitor real quick. Alright, I think we finally got things figured out. Again, I apologize for all the delays and dilemmas here. I really don't know what's happened within. I guess this is why people don't update this for any the 5, maybe 6 issue so far since updating about 3 hours ago, and not looking good so far. But meanwhile, back at the front, the 5 machine of Eric Garrison saw an earlier incident, able to come back and lead this middle lane from the 99 machine of Rob Hamp. But the 8 truck of Landon Matherson is going to take the race lead for the time being. He's going to go from the top to the bottom and defend the run that bottom lane had. Oh, and that middle truck washed up a bit. That was the 5 car of Eric Garrison. Got into that. I think that was the 33. And now this 8 truck of Landon Matherson. Oh, and around goes the 8 machine up front. And up and over is the 48 gonna go as well. Vicious hits from some of these drivers on this back straightaway. That's Jordan Hand who went for that wild ride on the backstretch. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what transpired that incident. So we saw it from the 8 machine right there. A little bit of contact. Try and get a better angle right here. So that 87 pushing the 8 machine just got misaligned coming off the exit. The 8 car tried to save it and just was too big of a push for that area. And then you see the 48 just get air underneath his truck and go up and over numerous times, landed back on its wheels eventually. But a big tumble from the 48 and a big hit as well from that 8 machine. Unfortunate night for both those drivers, both running up front. 48, that's his second incident I believe that he's been in. None really of his doing, just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And how quickly things can turn in just a moment. That is kind of what we were looking to see happen towards the end of this race. Now I know we still have plenty of laps for more things to happen, and with 24 laps to go, coming to 23 laps to go, you just gotta wonder was that enough to calm the drivers down for the meantime, or is this just going to ramp up aggression? And I know from racing numerous times, usually you get a caution around the lap 20 to 30 mark. You kind of really use that as a marker of trying to reset and restart your race, knowing that there could and will probably more than likely be a potential for another big wreck. And that doesn't always happen all the time. So if you're choosing to wait around in the back of the pack, trying to wait for something to happen, and it doesn't happen, then you're kind of in a position of, I'd say, probably of wrong choices. Again, it's kind of comes down to picking between what you want your outcome to be, whether you want to gamble and go all in and risk it all, or if you want to be conservative and just come out with whatever finish you're willing to come out with. And at a track like this, where maybe you know that the season isn't looking as good for you for winning chances, you might try and push a little bit harder here to try and get the win and lock yourselves into the playoffs. The field in the hands of Rob Hamp. He's going to lead the field to green into the restart zone. We're off and away. A great start by that inside lane of Rob Hamp. He's going to jump up in front of the Ford machine of Reese Hamilton. And now Reese Schaefer right on the back bumper of that Ford truck as well. Rob Hamp's going to have to defend both the lanes here. He's going to wash down to the bottom, try and get that help from behind. But here comes the 17 in the 4 in this middle lane. The 4 truck now going to be able to clear maybe the 99 heading into 3 and 4. See what he's able to do. He's going to hold that middle lane for the time being. But Rob Hamp holding strong on that inside lane. And a little further back, we got trucks trying to make something happen. Still side by side for the time being for the most part. Nobody's really been too aggressive. The 87 was out of line there for a second. Oh, and the rubbing doors up here in the second row. And Justin Day back in the pack. He's going to slide to that inside wall but not hit it. And a caution thrown by the race control admins. Although we didn't get any incident, that was very, very close to being one. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what exactly happened with Justin Day here. All right, so a little bit of a checkup in front of them when this 99 and 17 machine made contact. Looks like the truck... I'm not really sure if I could really throw blame on anybody there. They all did a great job at trying to check up what could have been an incident. Take a look at it one more time. I think that was the 74 75 maybe of, yeah, it looks like the 75 of Stony Benfield, just maybe anticipating something worse than what was actually going to happen. And just like that, in that moment of time, drivers not able to react in time. Justin Day turned around hard on the brakes, able to keep any contact from not happening, but he's going to lose a lot of positions and is going to fall back to the 23rd position. Now, if you're someone a little further back, I'm not quite sure how everybody looks on fuel and tires. You don't really need tires here. It's not really an issue unless you slide them. A lot of people have pitted recently, so that shouldn't really be an issue at all. The only thing I'd probably watch out for is guys who may be trying to play some sort of fuel strategies by staying out. And I know, like, at a place like this, you don't really have fuel strategy and field sizes like this where anything kind of really goes. I will say the only thing that you might want to do here is if you have damage and you haven't used your one fast repair, you might plan on taking it here. You're under 20 laps to go. Again, still plenty of time for you to not use it, but if you're heavily damaged, you might try and use it here right around in the back and hope that guys that have used their fast repair, or maybe have a little bit less damage just holding off to use it, get into something to where you can leapfrog him in the next incident if there is one. Now, that's more of a risk that some are willing to take, others may not be so willing to take. It really depends on what your strategy and what your call is from a top of the box. We'll see if this shows correctly, but we'll take a look at our race recap here. And this is definitely not 100% accurate. This must just be from what was previously shown, but we've had plenty of lead changes tonight. Few cautions. And we're close to finishing this thing out, where we'll take the green flag with 17 laps to go. And I will say, I am a little surprised by how a majority of the drivers who have been up front all night have remained up front. Really, the only driver who kind of fell back a ways would be Justin Day and Joseph Kazi right now. Those two drivers a little bit further back. We saw Bryce Shoemaker up there as well. And if you're a Reese Schaefer fan in that number 17 truck, you're looking to defend your title again for this season. And right now you're doing just that. You're remaining in position, remaining where you need to be to put yourself in a spot to make a move at the end. And if you're a guy like Colby Jackson, or maybe Aaron Kay, or even as far back as Austin Edstrom, what are you willing to do on this restart? Are you looking to maybe ditch that middle lane and make a third lane? Or are you going to hold in line and wait till somebody makes the move? We'll find out. Green flag bear. Reese Hamilton leading the field to green. That 73 giving a great push to the outside lane. These two should be able to clear this inside lane. Reese Strafer now sliding up behind the Ford machine. Oh, now he's going to go with that outside lane to that Ford machine's quarter panel. So put Colby Jackson now to the race lead with help from that 17 of Reese Schaefer. The Ford machine now being put in the middle of 3 wide with really no help behind him. The next furthest, or the next closest car is Jordan Berry, a few car lengths back. And that 9 truck trying to make that outside lane come to life. Oh, around goes the 8 machine. And we're going to get a wreck and another truck up and over. Multiple trucks involved. The 8 machine sliding on his roof. The 9 machine with damage as well. The 8 machine finally sliding back. Oh, and a little bit of contact right there at the end. But the 8 machine finally coming back down on its wheels. Up and over. The 37 of Aaron Kay right behind, involved in this wreck as well. The 15 truck of Brock Piper as well. I believe Reese Hamilton also got involved in this. Yes, he was. You can see that truck has heavy damage to that right side. Go ahead and take a look at this real quick. See what exactly caused this incident. Hard pushing on this outside lane. Looks like the 10 of Jordan Berry in the 4 truck may have just... I'm not quite sure if they started or if maybe there's a checkup behind. Oh, it looks like that inside lane checked up a bit. So maybe that 8 truck not really aligned with the truck in front of him. Just up and over a few times for Landon Matherson. And a long slide here going to turns 3 and 4. Finally able to get back up on his wheels once he hit that transition here. Actually did one more flip over. And then a little bit of contact with Bryce Schumacher there at the very ends. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly, to be quite honest, if this was something that maybe... Let's see what happened, actually. Okay, so it looks like... I think that was the... I'm not sure if the 87 gave the 8 truck a bad... Or the 2 trucks in front of him a bad bump. It kind of looks like that's what happened. Again, nothing really of wrongdoing, just... I think the 87 pushed the 99, which then the 99 got into the back of the 8, got the 8 out of line, and up and over went the 8, and then the rest of the field back behind him got involved as well. Scary situation here for the 8 truck, though. You're on your lid and really can't do anything about it. Just got to hang on for the ride. We'll take a look at it one more time again. Maybe go on board here with this 8 truck. And just a long, scary crash here. You see it riding on board. You don't see anything, and then next thing you know, you're hitting the banking and flipping back on your wheels. So the 8 truck's going to remain on pit road, try and get some of that damage repaired. Now rolling off pit road. Doesn't really look like there's too much damage to this vehicle. And with coming to 12 laps to go when we get the green flag, I think it is safe to say that right now is the go time. Who is willing to go and be aggressive? Who is willing to counter that with more aggression? It's Daytona on the line and bragging rights for the rest of the season. Colby Jackson looking to get his first win in the league. Jim Foskett right there looking as well. Reese Schaefer, last year's defending champion, sitting pretty in third place with Patrick Hernandez, who's looking to make a comeback in this league with a victory. Who's going to get it done at Daytona? We're off and away. Green flag in the air. Colby Jackson with a great start on that inside lane. Joseph Kazi a little bit further back, sliding down into that inside lane as well. Not so much help on that outside lane. The 47 falling back to that 4th position. Now they're finally getting momentum going. The 87 taking that outside lane momentum, and he's going to try and run with it. The 17, though, of Reese Schaefer has been the pusher all night and has pushed many trucks to the race lead, and he's doing that again. He's going to send Colby Jackson out by at least a car length and maybe clear himself as well, pulling that 25 of Jacob Zola right behind him along as well. These trucks are moving around quite a bit, trying to make up every second that they can on one another, trying to get that advantage over the other one. The 47 of Jim Foskett has been in a few times. Oh, and a little bit of a wiggle right there. Almost sent those 2 trucks into the wall. Now the 47 is going to peak high, and is he going to have any help? Oh, the 47 in the wall. Will he keep it outside against the wall? Yes, he will. Heavy contact, though, for the 47. And that's going to be a caution with 10 laps to go. So race officials deciding that that was very much an issue for the field when the 47 hit the wall, and it was a very hard hit for that 47. You can see that right front is broken in that truck. You can see it hobbling around, just trying to make it back around and stay on the lead lap. And it definitely does look like that right front is broken. Let's take a look at that again. So I wouldn't really put blame on anybody too much here. I mean, the 47 stepped out of line, you see right there, and maybe tried to side draft and just wasn't as much room as anticipated. And just right into that outside wall with that right side being crunched up pretty quick. Then from there on, did a great job at keeping it up against that wall with the damage he had. You can see how wobbly that thing is from knocking that right front out. The 37 of Aaron K is going to get the lucky dog here, so he'll be back on the lead lap. All right, now if you're Colby Jackson, what is your move here? You're leading the race. You'll have about 6 laps to go when we take the green flag. You've got Ree Schaefer, Jacob Zala behind you. And then you have Joseph Kazi and Austin Edstrom. A lot of those guys work together and know what they are capable of doing. And now, I'd have to say this is probably going to not be the last caution that we're going to see. I'd be very surprised if these guys go green to the end with how many laps remaining we have and what people are going to try and go for. And remember, this is the first race of the season. This isn't like your 15 out of 16 regular season races trying to lock yourself into the playoffs. Now, it would be nice to win the first race, and there is definitely a perk to being able to win at Daytona and have bragging rights over the field, especially when you have maybe not have had the luck or the success that you have in previous seasons. I will say, though, you got to think bigger picture. If you're a little bit further back in the mid to later half of this field, you don't really want to upset anybody to the season, and you also don't want to rack up any penalties that you may get for exceeding incident limits. So there is kind of a up and down to what drivers may or may not be willing to do here. And a lot of these guys have already been in incidents already. I think the most that a driver has gotten into is this 5 machine of Eric Garrison a little bit further back. He's at, I believe, 29 incidents so far. That's very... I'm not quite sure if the 73 had an issue there, but that's quite a lot for this type of racetrack. Now I know he has a clean truck for the time being and still has what will be 6 laps to go, but you just got to think of what is going through his mind at this point in time. The field's going to bunch themselves up here coming out for turn number 4, waiting for this pace truck to take the hard left turn, and then we will get into that restart zone and be off and away with 6 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Colby Jackson going to lead these drivers to green once again. Reese Schaefer able to tuck and line. Oh, maybe a little bit of miscommunication right there from those 2 drivers. Now the 17 hard on the side drafting of that 73's quarter panel. Help from Jacob Zala in that inside lane. Joseph Kazi, Reese Schaefer making out this outside lane though. They're going to be ones to beat, I think, in my opinion. '17 now being more aggressive on the blocks. We haven't seen that out of Reese Schaefer tonight, but now coming down to the wire, he's got to be able to throw blocks. He's got to be able to make the right move at the right time. 3 wide, a little further back. The 73 glued all over the back bumper of Reese Schaefer. A little further back, the 87 with the help from, I believe that may be the 74 behind him. Now the 73 blocking that middle lane with the help from Joseph Kazi. These 2 drivers side by side, even through 3 and 4, coming to the start-finish line. We're going to have 4 laps to go. That's Eric Garrison on that high side, looking to make that 3rd lane work. Not a lot of energy built up right now, though. Oh, a little bit of contact further back. Jordan Berry in the wall. And that's going to send some of these drivers into a hard, vicious hit. That's the 88 of Keith Shoemaker, and I think the 87 also involved. Or the 47, excuse me. I think the 87 is fine. We'll look at him here. It looks like he is fine. So yes, the 47 of Jim Foskett was the other driver who got some major damage for that incident. That kind of started with Jordan Berry getting out of shape, making contact with the wall. You see this truck trying to make it back around the pit road. That whole front end looks pretty torn up. However, he's able to make it back around the pit road. Not sure if he has a fast repair here. We'll have to wait and see if he takes something for that or not. And you can see how hard it is for him to slide up into that pit stall with that damage. Go ahead and take a look and see how this happened with the 10 machine of Jordan Berry. All right, so it started a little bit further back, actually. Looks like, no, let's go from Let's go from this angle and see what exactly transpired with it. The fire, Garrison, I know they make contact, so, oh man. I think Jordan Berry might have tried to slide up. I'm not sure if he actually meant to slide up or not, but it does look like he started to go up to try and maybe get in front of the 5, or maybe the 5 was trying to work his way down behind the 10. Either way, they made contact, and the 10 car got shot up into that outside wall, tried to keep it from making any more issues, just with all that front end damage, not really able to control the truck, and unfortunately tagged Keith Shoemaker in the 9 in the 47 up there in front of them, or the 8 in the 47, I believe that was, got involved in this incident as well, just as a unfortunate outcome from having to work around that incident. And right here you can see again 47 just was clear for a second. The 8 truck was trying to get around that wreck and just misjudged the space that he had and tagged the right rear of Jim Foskett and sent the 47 straight on into that outside wall coming off of turn number 2. So like I was saying before we had this caution, it was probably not going to be our last caution, and it proves to be that that was not indeed our last caution. We'll be going into overtime here. And now this is not going to give these drivers a lot of time to really make anything happen. If you're in the second or third row, I'd say you're probably sitting in the best position right now. You have probably the best shot at the win. I'm not sure if maybe rows 4th to 5th and on back have the best shot at winning this. You never really know, though, at Daytona. The first few drivers could get in a wreck and just open the door for anybody further back to sweep away the win at the last second. But if I'm that 25 of Jacob Zala, I think I'm probably in the best position that there is. You'll be pushing the leader of Colby Jackson, so you'll be able to time your restart a bit better than the 2nd or 4th place truck. You'll also be on the inside lane, so in case something does happen on the outside of you, you'll have more space beneath you to maneuver around anything that could happen. Drivers getting set to head on over to the overtime attempt and into the restart zone. Colby Jackson once again going to lead the field to green with Reese Schaefer to his outside. Into the restart zone, green flag back in the air, and we're racing for just a handful of laps before we decide the winner here tonight. Colby Jackson going to slide up on that front bumper of Reese Schaefer Reese Schaefer says, hold on, wait a second. You're not going to get away that easily. And now Colby Jackson going to slide back down in front of Jacob Zala. That 48 machine is back in the picture. Oh, and a huge move by the 73. Very aggressive there to try and put a block on that 48 machine. Didn't work out, but the 48 of Jordan Hand, we saw him in that incident head around lap 70, and he's back up here looking to get this win. White flag in the air. All right. Which driver is going to have the momentum? Colby Jackson getting big pushes from Reese Schaefer, moving him around quite a bit. But Jacob Zola on that inside lane with help from Eric Garrison. Side by side, dead even race down the backstretch. Now Jacob Zola with the advantage from that 5 machine of Eric Garrison. What is Eric Garrison going to be able to do? Coming to the line. Oh, Jacob Zola up and over. The field's wrecking at the line. Everybody's flipping. I don't know who won that race. Carnage at the end, and it's going to show Eric Garrison at the line with the race win. I don't know how Eric Garrison got through that. That was the whole field involved right there at the end, but he's able to get through it some way, and he's going to take the checkered flag here at Daytona, and an unbelievable finish at the line. Eric Garrison, his brother, coming up here to congratulate that 5 machine on the win. Burn it down, Eric Garrison. You absolutely deserve that win. And what a finish at the end. We'll get a word with these drivers in just a moment. For the moment, though, let's go ahead and take a look at this finish of the race. So a dead even drag race down the backstretch between Jacob Zala and Colby Jackson. Eric Garrison right there on the bottom lane. And coming out of turn 4, you can see Colby Jackson the first to get out of shape, and then Jacob Zala with an aggressive block didn't work out. Up and over goes Jacob Zala, and the whole field just collected in the heat of the moment, and Eric Garrison coming out at the line. And I apologize, I don't know why we're not focused on the car right here. Either way, though, Eric Garrison able to come out there with the win at the end. And a remarkable finish out of Eric Garrison. That was intense to see all these drivers make it across the line. And I'd say peace is not really I don't think really one car made it across the line without damage. All right, well, while we get this set up, we're going to go ahead and go to commercial real quick, and we'll be back with the interviews.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight. Between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The afterchecks are lit. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been ended. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
Daytona 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series. We're going to take a minute and speak with our race winner of Eric Garrison. Eric Garrison, what a win. What a finish. That was wild. Tell me about that from your point of view and what exactly was going through your mind there when crossing the line.
I was just trying to get the best finish I could, and I come across the line. That said first place. I wasn't complaining, though.
Well, yeah, you said you're trying to give it all and just try and get the best finish, maybe even get the win there. It looked pretty wild there with about like 400 feet in front of the line. Everybody going everywhere, going each chin in front of you. I think you just actually barely nosed out like maybe 5 other trucks, some which were up on their lids and whatnot. But either way, able to come out on top. What a finish and what a race. And it's Daytona. Congrats on the win. Tell me about the season. Are you looking forward to it, or what are your thoughts on tonight's overall win in the season ahead?
Well, the season just got a whole lot easier winning the first one, so you can race a little different. You don't have near as much stress, so maybe go for little stage points and try to keep this thing going.
Yeah, you talk about making it a little bit easier, locked into the playoffs now. Is there really anything that might stop you from going on a rampage from here on out? I know you were quiet last season, and could this potentially be the breakout win that you've been looking for?
I don't know. There's a lot of good competitors in here, but I'm going to give it all I've got, and then hopefully this season will sure be better than the last one. We made playoffs last year, but hopefully make a deeper run and give these boys a run for their money this year.
I love to hear Eric Garrison, and I'm happy to see you in victory lane and carrying the Garrison name this season so far. So definitely we'll have bragging rights over Derek, your brother, and I am happy to and excited to see what you'll be able to accomplish this season, and hopefully this can be one win of many to come. Well,
Oscar, hopefully we'll get to talk again here soon, buddy. Yeah, but thanks, Oscar. Really appreciate the broadcast and staying up late with us.
Thank you. And yes, again, hopefully we can be speaking to you within the coming weeks, and this trend of victories for you will continue. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Oscar.
All right, that was Eric Garrison, our race winner. You heard it. Excited to be able to at least be able to relax and breathe a little bit more, winning this first race on the season. We'll be talking to a few more drivers, and we'll try and get a better image of this race finish. Let's go ahead and pull up our next driver. Austin, you got a copy? I'm not quite sure if we got you there, Austin. We'll give you.
Sorry, I didn't know what my push to talk button was.
No worries. We got you loud and clear now, though. Heck of a finish. I believe you're sitting at 16th, 17th with about 1 to go, and you finishing of all places second. Can you? Is that even processing with you?
Coming out of turn 4, I was set with having to finish, 16th or so. So if you would have told me coming out of 4, I was really going to finish second, I probably would have taken that in a heartbeat. But seeing that I was only, 3 thousandths away from winning, I'm actually kind of upset. I just started seeing cars flying up into the sky, and just took a hard left, and it almost worked out for me. I really don't have anything better to say for you, man. It was a wild ride there for a lot of the field.
And you talk about seeing cars up and over. I mean, essentially they were probably behind you flipping, above you flipping, to your left, to your right flipping. But overall, second place finish, great finish. I know it's not the win that you'd be looking for, but I think being able to gain 15 spots there and almost 16, or I guess what I'm not officially sure if you're 16th at the white flag lap, but wherever you were, getting that many positions and able to wind up second has got to at least feel somewhat good. And going into a very long season ahead, what is your goals for this season, and what do you look to accomplish within the regular season?
Championship or bust for sure. Coming into a league like this, there's a lot of good drivers. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably only the 7th highest iRating or so in here, but ultimately you got to go in here with the mindset to win a championship. And not really happy with my performance tonight, so just kind of something to work on. I lucked into a 2nd place finish, right? Some car turned or one truck turned hard right across the field and junked everybody, and I was just one of the guys that benefited. So I need to have a better showing whenever we go racing next week. But like you said, long season, a lot of time to get it right. I haven't ran a lot in the trucks recently, so I got to kind of figure the truck back out. But the playoffs in racing are interesting. So you always have a shot. You can use the entire season to learn and then win your way in at the very end of the regular season. So I'll just try to use the crazy racing playoffs to my advantage. If you can't tell, I don't like playoffs, but maybe it'll help me out in this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking into, you said there's a lot of good competition. I think a lot of people are agreeing with that, this being probably one of the most stacked seasons that we've had, and a lot of competition out there. And I love the motto, championship or bust. That is definitely going to be, you've now moved yourself onto probably the hot radar for the broadcast, so congratulations for that. But I want to talk about Auto Club next week real quick. Some may say that's the start of the actual season. It's more of a driver track, very bumpy. They don't go to it in real life, unfortunately, anymore, but it's a very fast, very unique track. And what is your thoughts on that heading into next week, and what are your chances of maybe seeing you in victory lane for that race?
Well, I love Auto Club, with the tire wear. Obviously the truck's pretty neutered down in the horsepower department, so I'm expecting the first 10, 15 laps of every run to kind of be more of a hybrid pack style of racing. You're going to see a lot of guys on top of each other, and then once we get to that long run, it's all about, who saved your right rear tire the most. So my game plan next week is going to be settle in the pack for the first 15, 20 laps of a run. And then once everybody else's tires start wearing out, maybe bring the truck up to the top side of the racetrack and start ripping as close to the wall as I can get. I haven't ran any practice in the truck, so I don't know how close to the wall this thing likes to go at that track, but hopefully I can rip the fence in 1 and 2 because I'd love to be up there.
I love to hear that. We'll definitely be watching for that. Thank you again for taking a minute to speak with us, and hopefully we can speak to you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it, buddy. Hopefully we can make it 2 for 2. Hopefully next time it won't be second, though. Appreciate the broadcast, man.
Thank you, and hopefully I can agree with that. Hopefully we can see you in victory lane, ripping the wall and living up to that championship or bust.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, that was our second place finisher, Austin Edstrom. I should have asked if I'm saying his last name right. I'm hoping I am, or else that's awkward. But you heard it. Championship or bust season for him. A lot of competition. I think we're going to see a lot of unique winners, to be honest with you. Our next driver who has had a lot of experience in this league is Justin Day. Justin Day finishing third tonight. Crazy finish. I think you are technically also one of the ones who were within a very close, timing-wise, being able to pull that win off at the line. Tell me a little bit about how that race finished inside from your view. Oh, do we have Justin Day? I'm not sure if we got Justin Day here at the moment. let's see if we can get his attention here real quick. There we are. Hey, bud. Oh, we're still having some. Let's say he's typing here, so let's give him a moment to try and get this figured out. Again, like I said, first race of the season. Everybody's trying to figure some stuff out. Let's see if here. Let's see. Maybe if we go here, let's go. All right, Justin Day, let's try this again. Got anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Justin Day.
I don't know why I had to talk, so how about noise?
You know that I was wondering why Austin was also having the same. Well, we'll make sure we get that fixed so that you guys trying to fool around with a push the talk button. But tell me about that finish from your viewpoint and what it was like coming within a few inches of pulling that win off sideways in the grass, with trucks flipping around you, trucks underneath you sideways in the grass. Just tell me about what your viewpoint was.
Yeah, I felt once the 73 like flipped off my nose, I didn't have anybody in front of me, and then my car started sliding. I think that's where I lost my momentum. I feel like if I didn't slide, I think I had it.
And you talked about momentum. Momentum is definitely a big thing here. You've won here in seasons past with this league, 2 seasons ago to be exact. So definitely not unfamiliar with a super speedway win, especially here at Daytona. I know not the outcome you wanted, but overall still a decent finish to be able to finish in 3rd place. Long season ahead and a lot of competition out there that we'll be having this season. What exactly is like your season objectives, and what are your maybe like check marks that you want to hit off for the season?
Well, with the competitiveness with this league, like I'd be happy with top 10s. Anything better would just be like a really good day.
Yeah, you talk about top 10s. Top 10s will definitely be a consistency for a lot of these drivers that are wanting to get good finishes and the maximum of points. With the stages and bringing that format back, does that really play into your type of racing deal, or are you more of a go out and just try and win the race / try and get the best finish that you can at the end?
I mean, I like the stages. I like having that basically mid-race caution to kind of regroup. But yeah, when we did have the stages, though, I'd always seem to be like 11th or 10th each time, so I didn't really benefit from the stage points too often.
Yeah, you talk about stage points being a very big benefit, and I think that will be something that we'll see drivers definitely want to get this season. However, heading into Auto Club next week, I think you've done pretty good there in the past. I don't have the stats up in front of me right now, but it's definitely close. The car we're running is definitely close to the Gen 6 car that we've raced in last season. Just tell me about what exactly your feeling is for next week at Auto Club.
I'm pretty excited. We haven't really raced Auto Club recently. It's one of my favorite tracks to drive, but I don't think I've ever driven the truck there, so I'm not actually honestly too sure what happens if it burns the right front or if it stays loose. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty excited.
Alrighty, Justin Day, thank you for taking a minute to speak with us and I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Congrats on the third place finish, and hopefully we can talk to you in a week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it'd be cool to talk to you. That's not at a super speedway for once.
I love it. All right, Justin Day. Congrats again on the third place finish. Have a good rest of your night. Alrighty, that is Justin Day there with the third place finish. A lot of these drivers really are kind of at a loss for words with how that finish happened. Really, nobody had any idea as to what the finish was going to be like heading into Daytona, but I really don't think anybody expected it to be like that. And that was a wild finish, and I don't know why iRacing cut some of it out. We'll try and get the second monitor to show it. I think the second monitor was able to capture the full win in picture. We'll go ahead and take a look here in a second. Actually, no, looks like both iRacing screens had it cut out. So I'm not quite sure what was going on with iRacing here. Again, a lot of issues tonight, which is kind of not good, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but nothing that can't be fixed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the race results, though. So Eric Garrison taking away with the victory tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Austin Edstrom second, almost had that win by less than a bumper. Justin Day, we just spoke with him a few moments ago, finishing third place. Colby Jackson ended up finishing fourth after leading off of turn number 4, trying to, I guess not technically leading. Jacob Zala was leading, but being right there with a chance at the race lead. And going into 5th place, Joseph Kazi, a great night, or a great finish for him. He was up and down throughout the field all night. Then we have Derek Garrison finishing 6th. He was up there at a few moments in time. Dylan Carrier, I hope I'm saying your name exactly correctly, ended up finishing 9th. Bryce Shoemaker 8th. Rob Hamp 9th. Jordan Hand finishing 10th. Jordan Hand had a shot at the win again. And I say win again. He was up there a few times tonight. Just unfortunately got caught up in wrecks not of his doing. And he's going to round out the top 10. And then when we go to the next page of results, Brock Piper, Stoney Benfield, John Barry, Jason Miz, Justin Levine. Those are your top 15 drivers. A little bit further down, Jim Foskett there. We saw with that hard hit that kind of brought us into this overtime finish. Patrick Hernandez in 16th. No, not the result he was probably wanting with coming back to the series after being gone for a season. But still plenty of time ahead of us in this season. Jacob Zala, who was leading off of turn number 4, ends up finishing in the 17th position. Aaron K. Reese Schaefer rounding out your top 20. And then rounding out the field, Keith Shoemaker, Landon Matherson, Jordan Berry, Reese Hamilton, and Landon Burbagage. Hopefully I can get your name correctly. I'm going to be definitely looking up some of these last names here later tonight. But overall, great race tonight. A lot of competition, and what more we will see in this season, it will be shown here in the next few weeks. I'm excited personally. Like I said, a lot of good competition, and I think this is probably going to be one of our best seasons yet. Hopefully we can get stuff resolved here for the next few races. Oh man, that was intense though. I really don't know what to say after that kind of finish. That was pretty insane to watch. All right, and let's get ahead. I think see if we can get our schedule up here real quick as well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at this season schedule. We had the Clash at North Wilkesboro last week, Daytona International Speedway this week. Then we head to Auto Club Speedway, Las Vegas Motor Speedway following that. Bristol Motor Speedway, Chicagoland, Nashville, Lime Rock Park. Then Richmond will be the first race of the new year, the 2026 year to be exact. Then we head to Michigan, Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, also known as IRP. Then we head to Mexico City for the first time in this league. It has just been brought to iRacing, and that's going to be I think that's going to be a pretty fun track for a lot of these drivers. We heard a lot of drivers kind of want this on the schedule. So that is going to be a unique road course that we'll get to. Then for the regular season finale this year is going to be Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is February 22nd. Then the playoffs will start at Iowa Speedway for the round of 12 with Texas Motor Speedway and Echo Park Speedway, also known as Atlanta. Those three tracks will make up the round of 12. Then we'll head to Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway, Dover, and Talladega. That will make up the round of 8. That's a very unique and interesting set of tracks, especially having the new Atlanta and the old Atlanta back-to-back of each other, one being a super speedway type track, the other being a very driver and demanding type of track. And that Talladega Speedway, that'll be another wild card race, and if you win and you're in that final 8, you have a shot at locking yourselves into the final 4. So I think that'll be a very aggressive race to watch, and that'll be April 12th. Then we hand the final round of 4 tracks, consisting of Kansas Speedway, Martinsville Speedway, and Homestead, Miami. Those will be a very interesting set of round of as well. I think I'd say it's a little bit more calm than both the round of 12 and the round of 8 set of tracks, although you do have Martinsville Speedway. That'll be a very short, and I mean very short, type of tempers flaring, probably a lot of bump and runs. We'll probably see guys be frustrated with one another, and leading into Homestead, that will definitely be a unique race to watch in the call. Homestead, I think, is probably one of the best tracks to end up, in my opinion, and I'm excited that we have it as a season finale. I think that will probably be a very unique race to watch between the final 4 drivers who are going to end up going for the championship there. And overall, a very fun and unique track with lots of multi-groove racing. And overall, just a very great season overall. If you are interested in joining us, go ahead and find the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series on Facebook. You can go ahead and request to join from there, or go ahead and find somebody from their league. You can also ask one of us here at TSM, and we will get you the info to join the league, and then you can enjoy and have some fun yourself as well. And going on to I'm not quite sure who would exactly be our biggest mover of the race. I have to do some math on it. It may be... I think it'll be Rob Hamp. Yeah, Rob Hamp should be the Hard Charge Award. He should get that, and that's a very good opportunity presented by Raps by JB. Unfortunately, didn't have any graphic made for that, but we'll get one made for next week. Big shout out to Raps by JB for being able to sponsor the Hard Charger Award, and we'll see that throughout this season. A lot of these drivers competing for that position. But moving on, we'll go ahead and get things wrapped up here. Again, I apologize for the issues that we had with iRacing itself and my PC as well. I'm assuming it's because we haven't done a full length race in about 3 weeks now, I believe, and the PC is it's trying to remember how it does things here. But thankfully, we were able to get the last half of the race finished without any major issues. And can't wait to see what next week brings us. Again, that's going to be at Auto Club Speedway, and that'll be a very fun and entertaining race to watch. Thank you again, though, for watching tonight. The racing kicks off back next week, same time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, here on TSM. This will be the Sunday night Showdown series at Auto Club Speedway. Thanks for watching, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, evening,